We are in the middle of the Sefirat Haomer time period, where we count 49 days from the beginning of Pesach until the holiday of Shavuot. Historically, this means that from the time we left Egypt, it took 49 days for us to reach Mount Sinai to receive the Torah. Now, I don't care what type of ancient GPS system you are using, but it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take 49 days to get from Egypt to Sinai. So what exactly happened there? What was going on? And the answer is hinted to if you look at the different offerings brought at the beginning and end of this time period. At the beginning of Pesach, we bring an offering called the Karban Haomer, literally the Omer offering, where we offered up, the Omer was a measurement, we offered up an Omer's worth of barley, which is a very crude, simple food. Usually back then it was food that they fed animals. It was animal fodder. And that was the offering that we brought at the beginning of the counting of the Omer. And then all the way at the other end of the spectrum, finally we reach the holiday of Shavuot, 49 days later, and we bring a special offering called the Karban Shtei Halechem, the offering of the 2 loaves. The wheat harvest would always fall out during that time, around Shavuot, and we would bring for the new crops, we would bring fine wheat flour to make these 2 breads, and that's what we would offer, at that time. And so now it's this man-made fine bread made out of fine wheat flour, which is really the antithesis of the crude, simple barley that we offered at the beginning of the Omer period. And the message is clear. This time period is designated for us to raise ourselves from animal to human. From being a person who is controlled by our basic animal instincts and raising ourselves to being somebody who is fully in control of our actions. And that is exactly what our ancestors in the desert did in those 49 days. In those 49 days, they raised themselves from being a nation of slaves to being, and they worked hard on themselves, and with help from above, they raised themselves to being a refined people worthy of receiving the Torah. And the question is, well, there's no lack of things for us to work on. Where do we even start? So there's a story that's been on my mind for the past week. I can't tell you why. It's just been there, and I'm going to share it with you. And it goes back about 10 years ago. My sister was engaged to be married, and so her and my brother-in-law, future brother-in-law, were getting married in the outskirts of Jerusalem in a neighborhood called Ramat Rachel. So my father got together with the in-laws, the Habers, and they were making all the necessary plans for the wedding. And one thing that they agreed on together wholeheartedly was no bar at the wedding. They felt it was not appropriate for the crowd that would be there, no bar. Okay. So there were some other hiccups along the way. The hall had double booked the date. We ended up having to push the wedding back a week. It was okay. There was enough time. But lo and behold, the wedding finally comes, and there is the bar. And it's not just any bar. It is the bar of all bars. And as we say in Yiddish, it was lebendig. It was a lively wedding. And so a short time later, I can't remember exactly when, but my father finally approached Rabbi Haber and he said, Rabbi Haber, I really don't understand. We agreed, no bar. And look at what you did. And Rabbi Haber said, you know what, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you. We agreed no bar. How could you do this? And so they are perplexed. And so they called the hall together and said, what is happening? We agreed no bar. We're not going to pay for this. So the hall said, you know what? I'm surprised that we forgot to tell you. We felt so bad that we had double booked that date. We decided to give you a bar for free. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, in Ethics of Our Father, says, "La'olam havidanis kol ha'adam l'kaf zchus," that a person should always judge his neighbor favorably. Now that doesn't mean that everyone is always perfect and good and doing the right thing. What it really means is you just never know if this is one of those times. Right? Sometimes we get things right, sometimes we get it wrong, but you don't really know, what happened in this particular situation, and don't hurry to pass judgment until you do a little investigating. So in short, the 49 days that it took from the Jewish people to get from Egypt to Sinai was a period that was meant for them to build themselves from a slave people into a great and worthy people worthy of the Torah. And it is an auspicious time to this day for us to build ourselves and grow from beast to man, from barley to bread, to being on a level so much higher than we are already on. And one of the ideas that I mentioned, which is always worth working on and investing time on, is judging our neighbor favorably. Because again, you never know what's going on with the other person. Most of the time, it's not about you. There's something else behind the scenes. Always investigate. Be there for them. And by doing so, you create an environment which is healthy for you, for them, peaceful for everybody. And may we use this time to continue to grow. Thank you very much.